Are you tired of feeling that everything's against you? Do you want to break those chains of the victim mentality and finally feel good about the future, the past, and yourself? If the answer is yes, then you're in the right place. So let's dive right in. First things first, what is a victim mentality? Well, a victim mentality is when you have that glass half full kind of attitude. It's when you think that everything is against you. Unfortunately, it's very sad to say, but it's when you believe that the world is actually a bad place and you can't actually take responsibility for anything that's been happening to you. People with a victim mentality mindset will always say things like, bad things always happen to me. I can't do anything about it. I just need to accept it. And when bad things do happen, it's always other people's fault. These are the kind of things that you'll hear from somebody who has a victim mentality. They can't take responsibility and they genuinely believe and expect that things will always be this way for them when it really doesn't need to be like that. People like this are energy vampires, always bringing people down. Maybe it's in a workplace environment where they go there and people, they don't want to talk to them because they're talking in a way that's just negative and horrible, and it leaves you with a sort of bad taste in your mouth, rather than somebody who's positive and happy no matter what kind of situation they're in life. And even worse, in a household with a family, with a partner, where they're constantly negative and talking about how bad things were, how bad things are, and how bad things are going to be in the future. Nobody really wants to hear this, but the problem is people get stuck in this mentality. And once you get stuck in this mentality, your subconscious mind tries to help you by keeping you in this mentality. Because the truth is, your subconscious mind actually pulls you towards negativity. Because when you think about it, many, many years ago, when we had many things to worry about, living in caves and fires and bears and whatever else the dangers were, it was more important to be negative, because when you're negative, you're always looking out for dangers. You're always expecting something bad to happen. Therefore, you're always ready for it. But in this present day and age, you don't need to feel like that because we're a lot safer than we were. So people have this built in automatically. And when you keep going down that negative path, when you really focus and even identify as a victim, then your subconscious mind happily holds onto it and then keeps you in that mentality. And this is where the real problems arise. There's nothing worse than someone doing something to you that you don't like. It could be a partner who does something you don't like behind your back, or even says something to you that hurts you. It could be your parents, it could be your children, it could be friends, it could be business partners, it could be anything. And we've all had these things happen to us at some time in our lives. But the most important thing is to be able to learn from them and actually take some kind of responsibility for the action. And now that does sound difficult. I've been in some very difficult situations myself with friends that have taken things from me and then gone and used these things to create businesses. I've had this happen to me in the last few years, to be honest. And it did make me feel very bad. And if I wanted to, I could have chosen to really focus on that negativity and that hurt and betrayal, because I was very hurt and betrayed. And I could have felt like that every day, every week, every month, every year, and continued. And I know people that would have done that. And I did feel hurt and betrayed and feel bad for a time. And then I pulled myself out of it and realized, how can I turn this into something positive? And I took responsibility, because the people that did it, I should never have been friends with them in the first place, because they're the kind of people that perhaps weren't the right kind of people for me to be around. This is why we've got to be very careful about our peer groups and who we share things with. So firstly, you've got to take some responsibility and think, well, really, I shouldn't have been in that situation in the first place. But then more than that, it's like, what can you take from this situation? So with me, it's a case of, well, I can actually start my own thing and take the best parts of what they've done, which were my original ideas plus more, and create the ultimate thing. Therefore, you create a positive thing out of a negative thing and run with it. If it's a case with a girlfriend, and I've had quite a few of these situations, unfortunately, then again, you've got to take some responsibility and think, well, I should have walked away a lot sooner. And we're all guilty of that. We're all guilty of hanging around too long in a situation where we knew we should have got out of. But what can we do to learn from these things. Something that one of my friends, Peter Sage, showed me is this wonderful thing that when something happens to you, you ask yourself a simple question. Well, what actually happened? I found out that a couple of my friends weren't real friends. That's it. I found out a couple of my friends weren't real friends, therefore I've got an opportunity to make some proper friends. As far as the ex-girlfriend or an ex-girlfriend's concerned, you can say, well, I found out that this person isn't the one. Perfect. So what does that mean? Well, it means that you can find new friends. It means you can find a new partner and start afresh. You know, you keep the story very, very simple. You don't come out with all the details and really emphasize on the negativity. You very plainly, you say what's happened and you say what's going to happen now. And then you write down 10 things that you've learned from that situation and then go with it. This is the best thing that you can do yourself to be able to get out of that victim mentality, to be able to learn from it, learn from the negativity and allow the positivity to inspire you. These are the things. Also, belief and expectancy. Belief and expectancy are the biggest things in life for everything. If you believe things are going to be bad, more than likely they're going to be. If you expect things to be bad, more than likely they will be. So turn it on its head. Start believing that you deserve some luck. Start believing that things are going to be good. Start expecting things. Visualize these things happening in the most positive, best ways possible. And then you're drawing them towards yourself and you're actually pushing yourself in the right journey, the right route to be able to get to these positive outcomes. These are my suggestions. Apart from that, obviously, you can use things like hypnotherapy. Now, as you already know, if you're watching this video, I am a hypnotherapist. And with my hypnotherapy audios, you can easily change your negativity into positivity and leave all those things behind. The great thing about hypnotherapy is you don't have to do too much work yourself because it goes straight into the subconscious mind. As we know, the conscious mind is the gatekeeper for the subconscious mind. So when you're trying to change that negativity, the conscious mind won't let the changes happen. Eventually it will, but it takes some time. With hypnotherapy, you put the conscious mind to sleep and the subconscious mind is then wide awake and open for the changes to happen. That's when you can change negativity into positivity just like that. And it's like a dream come true because then all of a sudden you have that expectation, you have that belief, and everything can run smoothly. And your subconscious mind has changed all of the programs and now you're ready for a positive life and you can start to believe that the world is actually a good place because it is a good place. So there we go. I do hope you've enjoyed the video and my little ramble. If you've got any comments or any thoughts, put them below this video. And please, if you haven't already, subscribe, share this with somebody that could do with a bit of positivity to be able to go onto that journey, to be able to realize that this world, it's an amazing place and I love it. So I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.